We continue our Sycamore Spotlight series, and why not this weekend? It's a big one for Indiana State Swimming and Dive. They compete for Missouri Valley Conference Championship. And one of the reasons why the Sycamores feel like they have a really good shot this weekend is the young lady who joins us here on our Sycamore Spotlight. It's Chloe Farro, who's in her freshman year here at Indiana State. Chloe, number one, how are you doing? How's the season been? Your first year here in Terre Haute, how would you describe it here in your freshman year?
It's been different, really different, because back home, I would never compete weekly like that. Because coming here, I would have to compete every single week, do the same events, swim the same things, and it's been really different. And it took a while to get adjusted to the fact that I had to compete that much, but it's fun to do.
We were chatting before we actually hit record and do this interview, and I was asking you, like, how did you learn about Indiana State, how you got here? Because with the pandemic, this being your freshman year, you didn't even get an opportunity to really see the campus in person. You had to do it virtually. So how would you describe this recruiting process that it was? And in the end, what was it about Indiana State and why you wanted to come here?
Well, there's a thing that's called college swimming, and that's where I have to put all my results and everything I swim, and that's how people can recruit me since I'm not from the United States. So then Josh messaged me, and he asked me several questions about what my goals are and everything like that, and if we can set up a Zoom meeting. And after a few Zoom meetings, I really liked what the goals were for the Indiana State swimming team. So that's why I decided to come into Indiana State. And for the campus, it was just a big surprise coming here because I could only see it virtually. Luckily, they made a virtual thing where you could be the person in the camera and you could like look around the campus, but that's about all I got before I got here.
When you first finally got here in August, what'd you take in? What'd you enjoy most just about the initial days that you were on campus? And what are some of the biggest differences? You mentioned, of course, not being from the United States. You've been able to compete for Aruba. We'll get to that in a moment. But maybe just the biggest differences of what you're used to growing up to now being placed here in paradise, as everybody likes to call it.
Well, I really like the campus. So back home, there isn't really anything this big of a college. So being here is like the American dream everyone talks about being able to walk around campus because the campus, I really find the campus really beautiful. And since I'm a business major, I have to study in a bank. I get to study in a bank. So being able to walk there and see the buildings, they're really beautiful.
From a competition standpoint, what always drew you to swimming, and how long has swimming kind of been a passion of yours in your life?
Well, I've been swimming all my life basically because I live on a little island. So you kind of have to be able to swim. So I started swimming when I was maybe 4. I started to learn how to actually swim. And then I got more into competitive swimming when I was about 9, 10. And ever since then, I've been loving what I've been doing. So I still do it now.
One of the things I kind of hinted at, one of my questions to you was being able to compete for Aruba on a national level. What's that opportunity been like for you, and how many times have you been able to compete for your country and what that means for yourself?
Well, I've been able to compete a few times actually last year. And I think the first competition I ever went to was in 2019, I think. That was in Hungary. And there was a FINA World Championship, and it was my first really big championship. And I feel extremely proud of myself to be able to represent my country like that. And last year as well, I went to Colombia to compete in the Junior Pan American Games. And being able to be the flag bearer, that was, I think, one of my proudest moments in swimming so far.
Let's look towards the championship this weekend. What have you really been trying to focus on here in the closing week or so in your preparation for this meet, for not just yourself, Chloe, but for as a team to finally break through? Indiana State under Coach Christensen and Coach Leach prior to him, they've really kind of taken the league by storm and surprising folks each year where they can be. Now I know all of you really want to knock that door down. What's it going to take this weekend to finally knock that door down for you as a team?
Well, for me specifically, we've been really working on my starts and my turns. Since I'm a sprinter, those are key elements to be able to get a good time. So we've been really focusing on that lately. And for the team in general, the relays are a big part of our team. So we've really been working on our relay starts so they can be as good as they can so we can get in the water as fast as possible and get to the wall first, essentially.
First is the key, right? That's why you jump in the pool in the first place. Chloe, we wish you the best of luck at the Missouri Valley Conference Championships. I know all of us have been extremely proud of you to see what you've been able to accomplish just so far in just your freshman year. Let's add a few more accolades at the conference championships. Does that sound like a plan?
Definitely.